Hi everyone, here are we again in Blender 2.81, and today I'm gonna teach you how to make a diamond ring. And today I'm gonna teach you how to open a new file. I know that it's a very simple thing to do in Blender, but I believe that some people that are beginners are watching also these tutorials, and I know by myself because when I am learning a new software, sometimes it's even difficult to open a new file, so I'm gonna do it now. So it's very simple. You just come here in File, New, and General. Okay? If it is a 2D animation, sculpting, VFX, or video editing, you can choose some of them, but my case is general. Okay, and this is our default scene. Okay, so let's delete this cube here by selecting it and pressing X. Delete. And now let's go to the front view by pressing 1. And let's drag and drop our reference image. Sometimes it doesn't work at the first time, so let's try again. Oh, mine is okay. And I'm gonna make this ring with a circle, so I want my circle right in the middle. So I select the cursor, put it here, and select again the select box, shift A, mesh, circle, and now I'm gonna to rotate it in the x-axis or x90. You cannot see it because it's behind the reference image, so let's go to this side view by pressing 3 and bring the circle to the front, G, Y, and now it's here in the front again, 1, and I like to resize it, scale it down until it is the size of this reference image, so S. I don't know why the screencast is not working. Okay. And G to move, and S. I think it's pretty fine. No. And now we are going to use the mirror modifier to mirror the other side of the ring. So this way we have to create only one side. So for that, let's go to the edit mode by pressing Tab, deselect it by pressing Alt A, box select only half of this circle by pressing B, like this, and delete the vertices X and vertices. And now back to the object mode, modifiers, and mirror. Now let's extrude in the y-axis. By that, let's go to the side view by pressing 3, select by pressing A, and E, Y. I think it's okay. Now back to the front view by pressing 1. Let's give it some thickness. So let's select solidify, and here, down here in thickness, let's give a negative value, and I want it a little bit like bigger than the reference image because later we're gonna use the subdivision surface and it's gonna make it smaller. So this way, just a little bit bigger, not too much. So it's okay. Let me try one thing. Put the solidify modifier above the mirror modifier. No, it didn't work. So leave it where it was and apply it. Now back to the front view by pressing 1, tab to the select mode, to the edit mode, Alt A to deselect everything, and now if you try to box select this part, you are going to select only the front vertices. To select all the vertices, you need to go or to the wireframe mode by pressing Z3 if I'm not wrong, or you can go here in this toggle X-ray mode and check it. And now here in mirror, we don't need to make this for the upper part because we are going to make those little things only here in the bottom part. So let's select clipping B and G. Okay, now let's uncheck the clipping, deselect this part by pressing Alt A, and B to select this part, and now we are going to use the proportional editing to try to make this little thing right here. So to turn on the proportional editing, you press O. If it's not working, you can come here and click on it. So G, and now let's uncheck, turn it off, this proportional editing by pressing O, and now R, Y, Alt A to the selected, B, B, R, Y, G, Alt A, B, B, R, Y, R, Y, and G, Alt A, B, B, R, Y, G, and you try to make it as close as possible to the reference image. It doesn't need to be exactly. Always moving with G or rotating in or Y. Mine is okay for me. And now let's save our job because um, this version 2.81 is not stable yet, so it crashes and we can lose all our work. So here in File, let's save as. I'm going to save my as link. You can see that I already have a lot of tests here. So ring. Okay. And now let's make this part right here. For that, let's go to the edit mode by pressing tab. Okay. Make sure everything is deselected by pressing Alt A. And let's see. Let's check clipping again. And I think that this part here. So let's select it by pressing B, E, G, Z, G, G, Z. Let's make it straight. Okay. And now let's add 3 loop cuts right here. I think 4. Control R, 4. You can type 4 or roll your middle mouse button, enter, and ask. Let's deselect it by pressing Alt A, and let's use the proportional editing again to make this curvature here. By pressing O, you turn on your proportional editing, but as you can see, we have this smooth mode, and for this purpose, we're going to use the sphere. Okay, you have a lot of different options here, but in this case, I'm gonna use the sphere. Okay, and let's select this center uh, vertices by pressing B. Make sure everything is selected, and make sure you are in X-ray mode or wireframe mode. G, Z, and you can control the size of your um, proportional editing by rolling the middle mouse button. The middle button of mouse. Okay, let's see. You can see it affecting the other part, but we can deal with it later. Okay, and mine is fine. See. Okay, in the edit mode, let's uncheck, turn it off. There's a proportional editing by pressing O. Deselect this part by pressing Alt A, and let me try to make one more thing here. Let me see. You can go ahead and delete this part. Let's try it. B, B, X, vertices. B to select this part. E, G, Z, G, X. And let's try to fix it by pressing S, Z, 0 again. S, Z. Oh, I don't know. B, S, Z, 0. Much better. Um, now okay, and now let's add the subdivision surface. Now I think we don't need this for now, this X-ray mode. So let's uncheck it, and here add modifier, subdivision surface, and level 2 here in the viewport. And you can see here it's a little bit odd, so let's make one thing. Select here the face mode. You can see this face is already selected, so I'm gonna simply delete it. If it's not selected, you can select it, press X and faces. And this face here, you can also delete it by pressing X face. Okay, and back to the um, vertex mode selection. Back to the front view by pressing 1, and I just want this outer parts to be round and those inner parts to be sharp. So let's add a loop cut here by pressing Ctrl R and bring it to here. That's exactly what I want. And let's add another loop cut here to try to sharpen it. Ctrl R, and also here Ctrl R. Okay, that's exactly what I want. And let's smooth it by right click, shade smooth. Okay, and you can see that here we have a strange thing. Let me see one thing. I think that it's because we have a face right here and we need to delete it. So here in our mirror modifier, let's hide it for a bit. You just need to check this television icon. Yes, I was right. Here you have a face, so let's delete it. Select this face selection mode, and let's select here. You select one face, hold shift, and select the other. X face, same thing down here. Select one, hold shift, and let's bring it back and see if it fixes. Um, yes, and don't forget to save your work. And now the next step is to put our diamond. So let's do it now. And for that you need first here in edit preferences. Oh, we are going not to model our diamond. We are going to use a diamond that comes with Blender already. So here in add-ons, type um, extra, and here add mesh, extra object, check it. Down here, save reference and close it. And now if you access your menu by pressing Shift A, mesh, you can see here diamonds, and I think it's brilliant diamond. But let me see one thing, and we want our diamond like here. So let's go to the edit mode, add select here, bring the cursor to here, Shift S, cursor to select it, back to the object mode, Shift A, diamond, brilliant diamond. Let's go back to the front view by pressing 1 and resize it by pressing S. Um, G, Z. I think this is a good size. If it's not the size, we can scale down it later. Okay, and as you can see, the cursor is still here. So let's add a circle by pressing Shift A, mesh circle, scale it by pressing S, um, S. I think this size is okay. Front view 1, edit mode. Let's select the vertex selection mode. Everything selected. Let's extrude it by pressing E, Z. I think it's okay. Let's give it some thickness here. And I forgot, but you cannot forget to apply the scale or rotation when you scale it or rotate it, because it can act strange. So Control A, scale, and now let's add the solidify modifier. Um, I think I think 0.02 is fine. Now let's also add a subdivision surface level 2 in the viewport. See, and I think I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, but only in the Y and X axis. I want to lock the Z axis, and for that you press S and lock it by pressing Shift Z, and now it scales only in the Y and X axis. And as we scale it, we go ahead and apply the scale again by pressing Ctrl A, scale. Okay, and now let's smooth it. Right click, shade smooth, and let's increase this thickness, because I think this size is okay. Now to the front view by pressing 1, and let's duplicate it, choose it here too. So Shift D, G, Z to bring it to here. And now again, we want only to scale it on Y and X axis. So S, Shift Z. Now let's add a loop cut here and here to sharpen it. Edit mode, Control R, and Control R. But I think this diamond's too big, so let's resize it. S, and resize also this. S, Shift Z, and now resizing the Z axis by pressing SZ. bring it down, G, Z, S, let's try to bring this part inside of this circle. So let's turn on proportional editing by pressing O, G, Z, think it's okay. And now let's resize also this part here. So select it, go to the edit mode by pressing tab, deselect everything by pressing Alt A. You can see my vertex select mode is already selected. So press Alt and click. Now let's go back to the smooth option and S, scale it, G to bring it here. Oh, you can go ahead and delete this reference image. Select it, X, delete. Okay, and don't forget to save. In this case, you can save my works. I save a lot of them, everyone in every part. By example, the modeling part, the texturing part. So down here in Save As, you just click this plus button and you can see it saves with another name. Mine already have one ring one, so I hit plus once again and Save As. Now I have those two files. Okay, and now let's create those little things that hold the diamond here, and my cursor is in the place that I want. So Shift A, mesh and cube, and let's scale down by pressing S, S, go to the edit mode by pressing tab, select the face select mode, select only the upper face, G, Z. Oh, but don't forget to turn off the proportional editing by pressing O. And now G, Z. Let me check this toggle wax rate and G, Z, E, Z, E, Z. And now you select this face right here and press E. It's EY if I'm not wrong. Let me see. Yes, it's Y. And it's done. Now let's erase this bottom face. So select this bottom face, X faces, and let's add a subdivision surface here in modifier. Subdivision surface, I think level 2 is okay. And now let's add a loop cut here to the edit mode by pressing tab, Control R, and I'm gonna make this part a little bit bigger. So let's select the face mode, this part, this front part, and S, right click shade smooth, and I'm gonna bring it a little bit up, so G, Z, and now let's place it by pressing G Y, and right here I think it's okay. Now let's add a loop cut here where this circle finished, so Control R, G, deselected by pressing Alt A, and here the X-ray mode, B, side view 3, G, and Y. Mm, I think it's pretty fine. And so now we are going to use this circle here to rotate the rest of it. I think we are going to use like 4 of those little things. So selected. Mine is already selected. If yours is not, just click it. Let's say it's Control and it's out, and click. Okay. So let's duplicate it by pressing Shift D, G, Z, and P, separate by selection. And here you can go ahead and remove all those modifiers. And now select all of it by pressing A, Shift S, cursor to selected, and now we are going to add a empty here. So Shift A, empty plane axis. Now here you can see that our origin is here, so let's um, place the origin to the cursor, and for that you right click, set origin to the 3D cursor, and now let's create the rest of those things with array. I'm gonna need 4 of it, but I think I'll have to apply the rotation and scale, so Control A, rotation and scale here, and down here instead of relative you select object, and with this eyedropper you select the empty, and now we select the empty and rotate it in the z-axis, so RZ, and you place. I'm going to the top view by pressing 7 and RZ. So mine is fine. And let me see. I think our ring is done. Now it's time for the materials, to make the materials. But don't forget to save it. And I made some tests and I realized that this part is not working, so let's delete it by pressing X delete. Let's select this part and duplicate it by pressing Shift D, G, Z, and bring it to here, and of course resize it in the Y and X axis by pressing F, Shift Z, and G, Z. One, edit mode, tab. Here this X-ray mode. Select this bottom part by pressing B for the box selection, G, Z, and let's go back to the solid mode. And in my opinion, it's much better. But you can create your own way, another model of ring. And so now it's time to create our materials, and for the illumination this time we are going to use a HDRI file from HDRI Heaven. I can't remember if we hide the lamp in the camera when I started, but if you are not seeing them, press Alt H to unhide them, and let's delete this lamp by pressing X and delete. And now here in this world tab, first we need to, in this little television, change from AV to cycles. I have a GPU, so I'm going to select it. If you don't have, you can go ahead and render with the CPU, but if you have a GPU, you need also to come here in Edit, Preferences, System, CUDA, and select the your video card. Okay, and then here, Save Preference. Okay, and now here in this Words tab, here in Color, let's select Environment Texture, open it, and I am going to use this HDRI file. Okay, and now if you go here in this render view, you can see our illumination. But I want it with no this background. So here in this little television, down here in Film, Transparent. Okay, now let's extend this part and change to Shader Editor. Select the ring, and here, New, and I'm going to rename it to Silver. Okay, it's gonna be a very easy material for the ring. And down here in Metallic, you go to 1, and down here in Roughness, you can control the type of silver that you want. I think I want mine with a little bit roughness, like this. And the silver material is created. So let's place our camera now. So let's go to the front view by pressing 1, and to bring the camera to your view you need to press Ctrl Alt 0. Okay, now let's rotate it in the x-axis to see a little more the diamond. So RX and GZ, RX GZ. Mine is fine. And here in this camera you can go ahead and make the focal length bigger. So GZ, I want mine like this. Okay, and to apply this silver material to the rest of the ring, you just select, press shift, you select all parts that doesn't have material yet, and left the one with materials, and press Ctrl L, material. And now you can see that this ring, this part is done. Now it's time to make the diamond. Okay, and now let's create the material for the diamond. So let's select here, and down here new diamond, and now let's select this and delete it, X, and let's add a shader, Shift A shader, add shader, and let's duplicate it by pressing Shift D, and let's add a glass material, Shift A shader, glass, and for the roughness let's use a value of 0.03, and for the roughness every material has its own roughness. There's some lists on the internet showing the IOR of a diamond and water and whatever material you want, emerald. Okay, and for this we are going to use 2.42, and let's duplicate it twice, Shift D and Shift D. This is 2.42. Let's use this 2.43 and this 2.44. Okay, and let's change this to red color. So for that you just decrease those two values. Let's leave it green, so you just leave the green value here, and this blue, just leave the blue value. Okay, and let's go to the rendered view. Now let's put this in the surface, this here, this here, this here, and this here. And now you have your diamond. And now let's create a background for this ring, a very simple background. So here let's press Shift A, plane, RX 90, S G Y. Okay, and let's give a black material to this background, or you can leave it white. You can give the color you want. So here, let's hit new black, and let's remove this. So you I think that down here in this material tab is easier for this way. Click here. Here in surface, change from principled to velvet, and here in the color, change to black. Oh, okay, and for me it's fine. Now you can go ahead and render here in this little television, and be let me see. I think that 300 is okay. Um, but as you can see, there's a lot of noise here in this diamond. So we go here in this view layer properties, and down here we check the noise. Okay, now you can go ahead and press F12 to render. And our diamond ring is done. You can play a little more with the light, but in my opinion it's fine. So now let's save image, save as, and I already have one diamond ring, but you can name your here and save as image. That's all. I hope you like it. I'm going to post a new tutorial every Sunday or Monday, and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Like, share with your friends. So thank you, see you.